Welcome to the best podcast with the softest intro, according to Gio. And today we are back for the first episode of the year. I know it's March already, but it's okay. But we are here with the one and only, the anticipated Stone Vet.
What is going on, gents? What is going on?
Yeah, man. So a quick introduction. You and your crew found myself and the DD214 crew a couple months ago during an investigation with Michael Kaiser, which we have some really interesting questions about that.
Oh, yeah.
I found your community and your community found us, and we came back and we started doing a bunch of back and forths. And you have a large community of people who are interested in real time, authentic shit. I think is the best way to put it. We just DD214 just shot their 200th episode yesterday, and a lot of you guys came, and I was just saying, thank you, because and also for BRVG, because a lot of those guys went to BRVG too. Some people that we've noticed, and it's really nice that I really appreciate what you've done for my small little media company, and it's fucking cool, man. And it's nice.
Well, thanks, man. I don't know that it was all that much, really. You guys got a good vet channel. Obviously, I smoke fucking weed. And I was like, oh, hell yeah. They're like blending the two things I like. I'm not a gamer, but I'll watch your gaming thing just because I get high. Hear new bong rips. So I can be like, oh, yeah.
And then sometimes it's funny, too, because some episodes, we don't even talk about games at all. No. There was Saturday's episode was about music, and then I think 2 weeks before that was about fitness, which we knew jack shit about.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't watch the fitness one. Yeah,
that one was an interesting one, and we like to have a little fun, but enough about us. Let's talk about you. Go ahead.
Okay, I didn't know. I was like, this is pre-recording and edited out, or whatever.
You know what? While you're doing that, I do, because this is an interesting conversation that we've talked about, because it is against TOS.
Is it really?
To smoke a bong on YouTube.
Ain't that some shit?
They have not been hitting me.
Yeah, same here. They haven't touched us at all about it, and it's kind of interesting because there's so many, because we upload to YouTube, Spotify, and Rumble, and all these.
Oh, right on. Cool.
They have different TOSs, but the YouTube one specifically states like the federal use of it states that because of the federal laws regarding paraphernalia, you're not supposed to be using it and stuff like that, but respect local laws and here, there, and therefore. So it's been very interesting. So
which is the good use about having a disclaimer before the show and so on.
I noticed too, they won't hit me for joints.
Okay.
And I took a chance on one the other day, but they would hit me for bongs. And what they would do is they would just age restrict it. So, and I was like, oh, and especially just starting out, and there wasn't at the time, members only and shit like this. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to do one. I'm just make it members only. Who gives a fuck? Nothing. I mean, look, every one of my shows gets the limited thing.
Yeah.
Just because probably the shit I say, but they aren't having a problem with bongs right now. So I'm happy with that shit.
Oh, me too.
To go back, so I was looking. So there was one channel before. It was called the Stoned Vet USMC, and I was typing up my name, and I was like, "Oh shit, cool!" I hit those dudes up and was like, "Hey man, let's collab on something." I was brand fucking new too.
Yeah.
And I was like, let's call, but I still had more. I was doing a little bit better than them. I'm not saying that for anything other than just for and they've been doing it for years, and they're with almost nobody watching. And I was like, hey man, why don't you come over on us? We'll all get fucking high. We can help with each other with fucking numbers. It's all good. And then those guys acted like, I don't know. It wasn't just that they blew me off. It was like, I don't know. Yeah. They just started acting like they were being a little bit above it. And I was like, you, man. And then,
we've encountered that few. Yeah. That happens a lot too, especially, and it's so weird because the cannabis community, especially the cannabis community, they're very weird with that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I have not found. Now, I haven't specifically been going after a cannabis. Talking to. The only people I would talk to is just vets, basically. Just vets. I mean, I don't talk to the world, more or less.
Yeah,
I have pretty severe PTSD. I won't. So I watch other stoner channels, weed, cannabis forward channels, man, but it's really strange. I also can't believe that our two channels are essentially, well, I guess this other one too, but nobody talks about them. like there's not more vet weed / weed shit going on, you know?
Yeah.
Like, man, how many of your buddies everybody smokes weed now, and vets are fucking loving it. Like, it's
Cops too.
Yeah. And they're funny now. It's not like we can sit here and we'll get baked and I'll, whatever. An hour and a half after the show, I'm fine. Like, like I'm calm, but I'm not fucked up or anything. I'm not saying I'm going to go do an Indy 500, but like,
Yeah.
But I can function as a human. If I get fucking hammered drunk, well, first of all, if I do that, I tend to want to go to the end of it. And then like, well, I'll just finish myself off. But like, there's no like, oh, I can function again once you're hammered. You're like, you need sleep, food, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know. It's just, it's cool that even my, like, I say conservative parents, but they're very liberal, but they're just older. Yeah. And their view on it has completely changed, and it's great. But I'm just surprised that. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm just surprised that it's not kind of more of a genre, But, so then I saw you guys, but I was still like, well, I don't want to give up. And then I was thinking about my channel. I'm like, do I want to have it like a studio or like a whatever? I had a business partner, and he was kind of thinking bigger than sort of where I wanted to kind of be at. Like,
yeah,
and, he's ambitious. Like, yeah. So I was like, oh man, I can't really like. I hate to say this about PTSD because I don't like blaming shit on anything, but like, I'm just very unreliable. There may be days where I don't fucking leave the house. Like, I can't. And so I'm like, man, all these cool business plans, I agree with all of where this wants to go, but I'm just not. And the truth is, man, that's why the F3 had the bit of a split up.
I noticed that too. Yeah.
No. Well, they may not. To be perfectly honest, I handled it unprofessionally. I just kind of cut it. I wish I would have thought it through. But again, I get into these manic episodes, and then around that date and time frame, I didn't really realize like how many sort of dates, like that are coming up, and I just compartmentalized, but I still know it. But anyway, but the point was, it was like going too fast for me, and I wanted to give Jeff and all them, like, they were doing great, still are, and I wanted to give them leeway to do it as much as they wanted to do it, but it started feeling like, oh, I can't keep up on my own channel with all of this.
Yeah, that's understandable completely. Yeah,
and and it was one of those deals too where I felt like I had to be in the chat. I wasn't always, but because if the show's not good enough for me to watch, you know what I'm saying, then why would it be good enough for the audience? And so I kept finding out, and then it would burn me the fuck out.
Your best critic.
Yeah. And then, so now it's just back to me and Hippie. It is just, but the way I came across you guys is that's when I was looking at other channels to collab with. And
absolutely.
Like, I saw that you got a whole, the way you were doing your channel, I liked it.
It's a whole umbrella.
Yeah. And so I was like, cool. And then I just watched your show, and I fucking liked it. And the first one I said was the DD214, because I was like, man, I know 100 J's.
Yeah, and it's funny because Gio has said something along the same lines too, and it's funny because a lot of people that I do work with have either started working with Jay or have ended up meeting him in some way, shape, or form, because a lot of people that I know or have worked with are out west, except Gio, who we actually grew up just a couple blocks away from each other our whole lives. So that's we awesome. actually get to do things physically together, unlike all the other shows that I do. Like the whole, I've been doing this 6 years now with different stuff, and it's actually funny because Bong Rips and Video Games was the first show we ever worked on. That fell apart. It happens. And then we came back to it.
You have to go through the prototypes to kind of find them. Like, oh my God, find your formula and shit.
You guys caught me on an upswing. I mean, I still probably seen a couple of manic episodes just because I'm fucking all over the place. But like, there was the first. So my channel started just me and Hippie. We called it Bronze Stars and NJPs, and the two of us would get stoned. And then the idea was to have somebody from our world on. The problem is most of those guys can't smoke, couldn't, or just didn't want to on camera.
Yeah.
Which I get, especially then. I mean, this was 3 years ago, going on 3.
Early days, yeah.
And so like, YouTube was so strict on shit too. And then that just kind of Hippie got sick. And so I started covering this dude, Chili. And that's how I got into that anti-auditor thing. And so I started doing Chili videos, and I couldn't go live at the time. So I just upload videos. I would just get high and break down. Like Chili wanted to start a new government agency. And so I went through his video, because I just came out of the federal government. So I was like, all right, dude, nothing you're saying. And it got me an audience, truthfully. It got me because at that time, saying anything Chili de Castro was a few hundred subs minimum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fuck, I got 28 grand on one of the videos, Broad Stars and NJPs, about that same time. But I think that's just because I paid to promote it. Okay. Google allows you to pay to promote it. And then my buddy Podgy is just an amazing dude. We were at Fort Recon together, and he went on to MARSOC. He was a MARSOC sniper instructor, and then retired, and then got his law degree, and then passed the Florida bar. Like, it's just, he's just that guy.
Badass,
so I think that people liked it. But then I thought this dude was stolen valor. I got out way in front of my fucking screen. Dude, Blue Bacon. And he was claiming Army MP and a bunch of shit and like private investigator and all this stuff. His stuff didn't sound right. I got 2 other vets on and we went over his shit. Turns out we were wrong about half of it. I went way out over my skis. I was like, I bet you this motherfucker was never even in the military. And wrong. He was. And he was an MP. He lied about a bunch of other shit.
Yeah. Well, I want to say, let's talk about something that you were right about, and something that not just you, but the whole community of people came after. That was the recently arrested Michael Kaiser.
Yes.
That was I was telling Gio about this whole thing, about who this guy was, what he lied about. Like, how did you fall into finding him?
So he is an incredible story. There's because there's kind of a satisfying conclusion. The motherfucker's in jail, and probably going to be in prison for at least a bit. This was when I had gotten trolled. Well, that Blue Bacon guy got me a bunch of. I was going nuts. Fuck, man! I took a bunch of time off, and then kind of trying not to cover the shit. But then I was just sort of looking around, just sort of punching people in the face. Sort of, I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean, what are you going to do? And then he was going to fight back a bit.
Yeah.
And then I have issues, but somebody came to me and was like, "Hey, this Welsh news network, because this whole camp of auditors and anti-auditors on YouTube is just a fascinating community."
Yeah, it's like the predator poacher community.
Yeah,
like they're huge. They're huge.
Are they just tribal?
Some of them. It depends on who the poacher is. Like, if you have a guy like Vitaly, his community, they're fucking Vikings, man.
Dude, those guys are relentless, dude.
Yeah, go on, man.
Give me a second. Well, the auditor anti-auditor community is really very tribal. If you're pro-auditor and then you are in one camp, I hate you. You could say the sky is blue, and I'm going to tell you go fuck yourself. You're a piece of shit. And then the anti-auditors they all feel the same way about each other. And then the anti-auditors, I mean, first of all, to be clear, these are all just low-level scumbags. Then YouTube has no barrier for fucking entry, so most of them have a pretty extensive background. Maybe not like Kaiser. Well, no, get to Kaiser. But they all, I just put a video out today, and of another dude calling this guy, pulling records. And you're like, yeah, no shit. That doesn't surprise me. But they hate each other. And so somebody was like, hey, can you check on this Kaiser guy? Because someone's calling him stolen valor. Like, they can't find any records on him. And I'm like, yeah. I was like, man, his initial story sounded believable. He's an anti-auditor, right? So that's how he's in the anti-auditor community.
So what do the auditors do for those who are not familiar with that?
Yeah, sorry.
With that area.
They're kind of a scourge, but they're just annoying.
Yeah.
They started as filming cops. It kind of blew up. It looked like COVID. It blew up before I came on YouTube, but it looks like COVID kind of because they could get out and they could film cops, and then people would talk about masks or whatever.
Okay.
What they will say is they are stress testing the First Amendment. And that is by going in with a camera. And now what they do is go into a camera and just start filming in like a post office or a DMV.
Or like a courtroom with kids in it and shit like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, they're dirtbags. And it does literally nothing at all. It does nothing at all. And then they do it to just get a reaction. And then the reaction gets them 75K fucking views.
Yeah, which is crazy. Which is wild. There's so seeing something like that. I mean, like I just referenced the one video of one guy going into a courtroom and a police officer like pushed him out the door, was just like, I don't want you filming here with the kids in here. The guy's just like, I can film in here. I can, like, who gives a fuck? There's kids here, you know? So like
some form of fucking consideration.
Yeah.
But that's the fucking problem. Like now
they're like paparazzi.
Yeah, exactly. And they don't have no fucking boundaries whatsoever. They're doing
they're
it.
If I
get a rise.
Yes. If I had to deal with them and like if I was in the post office, say, and they came in, I'd have to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
I would be like, I'm not going to jail because plug this dude up. Like, I mean, they're hyper annoying. And so people like when they get their comeuppance and they get like, this isn't some kind of activist. This is a fucking criminal. And so I kind of get it, but it all becomes a self-licking ice cream cone a bit. And then
that's a good analogy.
These anti-auditors get very high and mighty about shit. And so this holier than thou, it's like, come on, dude, you're no better than they are, dude. Like, shut up. So with Kaiser, that's the kind of thing. So Kaiser, I think he had a cam slip. He was trying to stay behind. So his thing, I'm like, well, what's his story? He's like, well, he's claiming three tours in Afghanistan. The Purple Heart thing at the time we had like people are like, yeah, I've heard he claimed he had a Purple Heart. Ends up he claimed he had two. And then he got hooked on pain meds that the VA gave him. And so I was like, that all sounds, I mean, the Jeff, fucking Hill Pirate Studios, that's pretty much what happened to him. Just exchange Iraq for one of the, Afghanistan tours.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, that's feasible. I mean, I only know one dude. I'm not saying it's not, there's probably a bunch, but I know a dude with 2 Purple Hearts and 3 tours to Afghanistan. 3 tours is like, yeah, especially Army Ranger, which is what he was initially claiming. I'm like, those dudes deployed to cyclic.
And Purple Hearts are public information for those who don't know either. Like, you could legitimately go online. There's a website for it, and you could see that, And I mean, when this whole thing started, I even looked it up myself too. He wasn't there. Plus, another questionable names that I've looked up before that have said so. And I'm just like, really? Okay. You learn some things about the person when they say they have a Purple Heart.
I just can't believe people get online and say it. Like, in this day and age, you know what I mean?
You want me to be perfectly honest? It's because now they have a shield, and that shield is the fucking screen in front of them.
Yeah.
That's the only reason people get away with saying the shit they say and doing the shit they do now, is because social media has given idiots a platform to do stupid shit. And it's definitely gotten out of hand.
Woo, to see, like, because I watched some of Michael Kaiser's lives. I saw some of the crazy. I've seen you stream sniping them. Like those were interesting things too, because they were like perfect breakdowns, and he would say something, and you guys would refute it with something with proof. And that's the great thing about this, is that there is proof.
This is one of the more blatant. I don't do stolen valor. I kind of stumbled into it because I'm a loudmouth and a bit pugnacious.
Yeah.
And then I do get protected of GWAT shit, but like a global war on terror era shit. I get protected of it. But like this dude, and then all of a sudden he tells it. The RPG story is just fucking fantastic.
Yeah, that's right. He said that he got shot by an RPG.
They were patrolling in Afghanistan as a ranger. MP claims, just so everybody's tracking here, he claims 3 tours to Afghanistan, 2 Purple Hearts, 2 years drug suppression unit, Army Ranger, Army MP, staff sergeant. His years varied depending on when you talk to him. It was either like 10, sometimes it was 20. But generally he stuck around the 10 area, because then he started realizing like, okay, he's a little young. I don't know. So I think but his story before the RPG story, I was like, yeah, an Army Ranger or an MP with 3 tours to Afghanistan. Whatever. Shiz happened.
Yeah.
sent me his VA card. And I was like, oh, fuck no. And so then, but I was still, because I was initially like, I'm not going to talk about this dude. I don't care. I'm not going to go after a dude. I'm like, he got in trouble. So fucking what? Like, you get the pain meds that happened in that era. They overprescribed fucking opiates.
Yeah.
And so like, I'm like, that's not, and then I heard the RPG story and then saw his VA card. And I was like, this guy, nothing's real about this. And so then, KFAR, this other channel, a Navy vet, him and KFAR do a whole huge live stream going after an auditor who goes by Georgia Transparency. And
yep, familiar.
Russell. Yep. If you look at Russell, he's a tall dude and he's a fat dude, and he's an auditor. You're probably not going to initially think this dude's got 3 combat tours and 13 years in. And so they made a whole big video about going through his resume. Come to find out, not only that, his resume sounded like any NCO. Like, yeah, you ran PT. I was in charge of physical fitness. I was accountable for $10,000 worth of gear. Yes, you signed for gear. Like, they just sound like NCOER bullets. Right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, this is like, no offense to him. I'm like, but what's he saying different? And then he comes onto my show, shows his DD-214, shows videos and pictures of him in Afghanistan and Iraq. And so that's when people start. And then Kaiser showed a military police tattoo. He's like,
yeah, the tattoo. I remember. And this is all great backstory because I didn't know about I didn't know how deep it went too. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's actually pretty crazy that he went that far. And holy shit, Kaiser. And, you know, to kind of fast forward, I mean, Shiz, who I actually want to get on the show too. I mean, did an incredible job with like some of the stuff that was happening in the final days, like what was it? It wasn't a warrant. It was
like a writ.
Yeah, a writ of arrest or something like that. Yeah. And you know, regardless of what the situation, he was finally arrested, you know, but then there's also talk about the murder that he committed.
So in December of 2009, so to just backpedal just a few months before this, right? He got caught stealing he would break into people's homes and steal firearms. And so he stole his ex-wife's his ex-father and like some of his guns. So then he shoots himself in the arm and blames it on a black guy who, because he was also being investigated for stealing medication from people's mailboxes. And so, yeah, I mean, this dude, it's so crazy because you kind of can't get worse than this dude. So on a live stream, he goes, someone asked him, so you broke into he was trying to come clean as little as he had to, but he's trying to come clean a little bit. They're like, okay, some of my criminal shit's out there. Mm-hmm. And he's like, and someone asked him, did you break into your old lady neighbor's house? And he goes, yep. I wouldn't say she was old. And he goes, but nobody was home. And so that was his excuse. Well, nobody's home. And so, I mean, he admits to breaking into an old woman's home to steal her fucking meds. So then fast forward now a few months, like he is deep, right? He is deep. In December of 2009, and the Alabama court records all show this shit, he broke into Donald Atwater Cameron Jr., who was a former Marine, disabled vet. And he knew that Donald had surgery. He was like buddies with Donald. Okay. And the truth is,
shit.
Yeah. And so he goes in, and it seems like he wasn't expecting Donald to be there. And so, but in the police report, he fucking shoots him, executes him execution style from behind the head.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh my God. And then stole guns, drugs, and his PlayStation. Stole his PlayStation. Then he plugged in the fucking PlayStation into
I bet the PlayStation was a major thing in this case.
Having that ping at his IP. And so and so then they rolled him up, and he was in. And so then when he was on pre-trial, this is like no, it's not COVID yet, but I don't know, something's going on. But they put him on house arrest pre-trial, and Shiz is shown in the documents. All of this is documented by court docs and military records. Military. I mean, there is no military records really. For everybody, he failed Army basic training twice. Got hurt, couldn't do pull-ups or some shit, and got recycled. He got booted for medical reasons, Right. I mean, in a police report, it says he got stung. He was allergic to a bee sting. He was only in for a month. Yeah. And then.
So that's what I keep on hearing, all the inside jokes about him being taken out by a bee sting.
Yeah. Like, oh, don't let there be bees in jail. Yeah. And so yes, that's where that comes from. And then that was 1998. That was his first try. It was in 2005 when they were, during the surge, basically taking whoever. And like they gave him another bite of the apple because he was going National Guard, and the National Guard can do, weird shit.
Yeah.
And so they sent him to a basic training again, and he failed to get out of first phase, or red phase, I think the Army calls it. Red phase, fails to get out of that and gets booted again. Now he was held medically for a year. Almost.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, for almost a year. And again, not medical records, but police reports, the claim is it was shin splints. But basically he's a malingerer. I mean, let's be honest. How fucking hard is boot camp? No, they yell at you.
Yeah. What? You're just working out and walking in the mud all fucking day, honestly. Yeah.
I'm not saying it's great, but come on,
Yeah. So I want to shift over a couple things too, because there are some things I want to put some eyes on, and some things that even Gio has helped me out with a couple times as well. Actually, two things. One thing we're going to be working on very soon, but the first thing is this. I know you're not much of a gamer, but if you're into things like people fucking really scamming the shit out of you, and when it comes to probably national security and stuff like that, and there is a situation going on right now that a video game that is supposed to be coming out on April 2nd. I was a part of this situation, and I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I was able to help put a lot of eyes. It got me 11,000 views on one video. Nice. But what these guys are doing is that they're using crypto, and they're using stolen assets from video games like Grand Theft Auto and stuff like that, but they're stealing people's information at the same time. It's a wild situation that's happening at the moment that no one knows how to handle it. So we're going to find out April 2nd, but I have a lot of insider information I'd love to send you so you could check it out.
Dude, I'm still waiting to hear from, because like just from that alone, like the influencers that are like their faces, clear character, like their clear images, like their faces, their names and everything being used in the game. And like, it just surprises me that nobody's come up. Like nobody has come out and said, like, no, that's not me.
Yeah, and
like,
you
can't use me.
You know what I mean?
We had a guy in Hong Kong go to the address where the studio was listed, and the studio wasn't there. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of crazy. But then there was that. But then there's also like another guy, which I know Gio is very familiar with, a guy named holy fuck, what's his name? The fucking Chomo from fucking Florida, the wrestling school guy, Ryan. Oh fuck!
Wait, wrestling school guy that they made the movie about? I thought that was Ohio. Am I on a different thing?
Oh man, what the fuck? See, now I feel like a dumbass because I don't remember his fucking name now.
Oh, I mean,
marijuana affects the memory.
Yes, it does. I fucking put Ryan Vance. It's like
I mean, the weed makes me love life, but there's definitely like I'm not doing math.
Yeah, same here.
Absolutely
good. Not. I like it like that. I like that it gets me into the squishy fucking headspace of
same here. I found Chasen Rants.
Chasen Rants.
Oh, I don't know anything about this guy.
Yeah, so Chasen Rants is a very interesting person. He's a convicted sex offender. Mm. His charges are very wild. I'll send you the link for him. But for some odd reason, this guy keeps on opening up wrestling schools. And and the crazy part is that
registered?
Yes, he is registered. He's a registered sex offender. I have his file.
So how the fuck is he able to open up a wrestling school?
I know, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah,
so Florida wrestling shows.
Jeremy DeWitt was able to operate weirdly in that Florida.
Florida's weird with shit like that.
Yeah,
so like they even have that.
Wasn't it that Romeo and Juliet shit, like that law?
I don't know what that is.
Only in fucking Florida.
Yeah, because Florida's weird because they have that it's like Sunset Meadows or something like that, where all like the chomos go to the.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so like
a little neighborhood of them, right? Or little
it is. It's a very small neighborhood, and like they have like their own. They can't go out of that town. They can't leave it. They have like their own little Walmart there and stuff like that.
What do we have to do to just and then fucking get?
Yeah, I agree, but yeah, Chasten Rants, he falls under that too because I mean, and I hate to say it. I hate to say it because he is affiliated with a lot of people that I've looked up to, like Booker T, you know, R-Truth and guys like that. I'm not saying that they work deep with them. I'm just saying that they've been affiliated with them in some way or form. And this guy, I mean, just a couple, like I think like in December, he just won a match against a 16-year-old for his own championship in his own company. And it's fucking he keeps on giving himself high fives is what I'm trying to say.
That's hilarious that you beat up. That's some like fist foot way shit or what, you know, like some Brian.
How old is this guy now?
So he was born 1983. So he's just a couple.
He's a year older than me.
Yeah, there you go. So
he's 42 years old.
42 years old.
42-year-old beat a 16-year-old for his own company's belt.
Yeah. And on top of that, what got him arrested was lewd, lascivious battery, sex with victim 12 to 15 years old. So like it's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy. So this is one person that I feel like people need more eyes on this guy too, because this motherfucker it's kind of crazy to me and it's funny too, because I have his actual offender file right in front of me that I linked it to one of his posts in this new school that he opened. It's like, I can't remember the name of the school right now, but I think it's under someone else's name. But he's there and he's training all the kids. He just specifically trains the kids. It's fucking weird. And yeah, this guy is just doing what the fuck he wants to do.
The parents are also at fault in that case, because all you got to do is do your research and you'll find out the guy's bad news. And why the fuck would you send your kid in there to train with this dude?
That's what I was thinking too. It's like at a certain point.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it's not all the parents. It's this dude's fault. He's a fucking predator.
Well, yeah.
But like, I don't know. I always wonder on these things when it's shit like when I hear shit like this, I'm like, what the fuck are the parents doing?
Yeah.
Like, how are they not involved? Like, I go to my kids' practices and shit. Like,
that's what I would think. Like, are they sitting in? Are they watching the courses? Like there with their kids?
I don't know.
But even so, like, wouldn't you get a vibe from your kid, even if nothing happened?
Yeah.
Like,
you would know
a vibe from your kid that something's off.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like, and if they were like, I don't want to go back, and be like, cool.
Yep.
All right, we ain't going back. But you know what's crazy? A lot of parents nowadays, because like parents are younger now. Like if you notice, like parents are a lot younger now, so they're more inexperienced. Like there's a lot of parents that would be like, no, go right the fuck ahead. You know,
I mean, even I kind of fall in there.
Go and be young again for a couple of minutes.
I kind of fall in there too.
Be in that risk.
Yeah, I kind of fall in there too because my oldest is going to be 13 in a couple of months, and I'm 36 years old. So I kind of fall in there too, and I still find myself to be a stupid parent sometimes. So
yeah, seriously.
There's a difference between like, I don't know. This feels weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know what Florida's like wrestling system is, but like my kids, when they play outside of school, it's still like organized with an affiliated, you know, like, it's still, there's an organization. Like if something went sideways, you know, how are you just going to fly by night wrestling and just send your kid into that?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, and I've spoken to this guy on the phone too. When I got out of the military, I wanted to be a professional wrestler, and he was one of the dudes I spoke to when I was living down in Georgia because I was going to move to Florida. He was like, "Yeah, come," and then I looked him up, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, you realize when he said "come," he meant something else.
Yeah. And then actually, like a couple years after that, I moved back to New Jersey, and I actually did train, and I beat my fucking body up, and it was
oh my God, how much weirder. That's so cool that you did that, by the way. This whole time, I thought you meant like Greco-Roman.
Yeah, I actually
no.
Yeah, no, I actually did that shit. See, but I wasn't trained until after I got like scouted. Like when I got scouted is when they started training me.
Yeah,
Beforehand, I was throwing myself around in a backyard with a bunch of other assholes, and it was
yeah,
just
you got more of a body for it. I got you, so like like you've got more me. I'm more of a twink, so like it's like my body is small. They'll snap me in fucking half. So I'm an easy win. So
oh, holy shit, that is very cool that you guys did that.
Yeah, it's interesting too because
I don't know that I've ever heard you guys. I mean,
it's very rare. It's very rare when we talk about that stuff.
And you grew up together, and you both got into it.
You got to think about like where we were raised. There was especially at the time there was a lot of like independent wrestling company like schools. There was one here on Sip Street which was open for years, and that's where I trained with Mike Morrigan. I was in the same class with like Jay Lethal and AJ Lee and shit.
Yeah, big guys and stuff like that.
How old were you?
I was just coming in at like 15 years old. I wasn't even able to get in the ring yet. So I was
that's like 20 sodas, that's like 30 years ago.
The arena, helping them set up the ring, doing all this trash bag fucking job just to get a chance every time, like before and after shows, get in the ring a little bit, jump around, fuck around, and then get the fuck out.
Yeah, it's actually funny, this full circle thing with me and Gio, because we started because like we grew up together. We were in rock bands together. We used to be in heavy metal bands. Yeah. Well, Gio's more recent, as he just got out of one a couple years, like just recently, a couple years ago, and then like he's working on some stuff that like probably has an NDA that I can't talk about.
But cool.
But yeah, I did it for a short time and I stopped because my voice started straining, and then like I didn't know what to do with us, but I knew that something in me, I was like, I wanted to do something fun. I always wanted to be in radio. But like when I came out the army and after the whole wrestling thing happened, I didn't know what to do. So I started video game streaming, and then like that didn't work out. And so me and him were in rock bands, not together. So working in podcasting is the first collaboration we've ever had, and it was weird because like we always knew each other, we always had that creative mind, but we just never worked together. And so it finally happened, but at least the one thing that was for sure is that we were going to fucking smoke something at the end of the day, but it was where we're from, because like to put it into perspective, where we grew up, we're about 6 football fields away from where 9/11 happened. So like, so when that happened, you could literally, we went because
from the town where I am right now, I could walk 2 blocks and the skyline is right there.
Yeah,
that's intense.
And it's interesting too, because like when that happened, in more perspective, the ashes were coming into our town, and we lived, the town that we're from, it's on a hill. We were on the top of a cliff, and all those ashes were coming over to us.
Yeah, and dude, it was dark for a long fucking time.
Yeah, so in some parts of the town, we were shoveling ashes like it was snow.
Holy fuck.
That was crazy.
It was. And then we had a lot of art. There's a lot of art here, a lot of culture. But being so close to New York City helped a lot of that stuff that we were able to do and make our parents spend all that money on. But like there's one thing, because we have to end soon. But there's one thing I did want to ask you about, because that was something very interesting to me. You went to film school.
I did. I didn't graduate, but I did. I went to grad school.
Yeah.
I was thinking, okay, so I was government, right? And then I had really what ends up being pretty severe PTSD, and it was untreated. It was undiagnosed, untreated, because where were we going with this? What did you fucking ask me? I was just like listening, and I was like, wait, what?
Affects the memory.
Oh, film school. I'm sorry, man.
Film school. Yeah.
I was like, whoa, what the fuck, yo? I was thinking about your 9/11 stuff. So I was in DC, and I was like, okay, I was military intel. I was Army intel. And I thought, I'm just going to take a break. I'd done 25 years. I was like, I'm going to take a break. And because I could tell, because I was fucking drinking my ass off, I was being.
Probably felt like 45 years.
Yeah. Well, but I was doing it in a way that when I look back at it, it's like, oh, that was fucking trying to use to tamp it down. So then I applied to American University to get my MFA and I forget, it's film school. And It was really rewarding. So I got my GI Bill covered it. Still, I had GI Bill left.
Okay.
So I could go, and then they do a thing called Yellow Ribbon. So a very
the Yellow Ribbon, yep.
private university I was covered. And I was like, this is great. But at this point, I'm still not getting treated for the PTSD. And so I was a maniac. Because they were just fucking chucking me full of goddamn ADD meds and SSRs. And so I was like, nah.
Interesting.
But like, I was fucking, it was great, man. I was disappointed in how sort of basic it was.
Oh, yeah.
I really wanted, it was way less, first of all, it's way less, at that level, it's not film theory. You're kind of done with the film theory. And so you're making it. This is how to make shit.
Okay.
And
okay. Interesting.
That was the cool part. That's how and then I got into Premiere and I was good at editing. And the guy, we had like American University for the film school is known, but it's really generally a documentary school.
Okay.
And so we were attached to Discovery and Nat Geo. And so like we're getting a lot of this. And you know, out of my cohort of 25, I think 4 of us were fiction, screenwriting and directing and going in that path. It helped me. It really helped me, even though I hated my screenwriter, my advanced screenwriting professor. She was a cunt. She fucking asked me, dude, she's trying to write a pilot for NBC, right? And it was about a kid who gets collide. You got to remember, this is 2019, 2018. Okay, and so like it's a kid getting radicalized on the internet, and then how that kid gets from the States to like a jihadi camp, and then the FBI guys, because these national security kind of shows were in vogue,
homegrown terrorist type of show,
and then like and then the FBI people, and so she was like, okay, well, how does it work? And I'm like, well, I can tell you, as far as unclassified, but here's the procedure, and she's like, well, this or that. I'm like, I literally did this for a living. What are you talking about? So I was like, this is what I'm like, trust me, I worked on this stuff a lot. And I was like, it would go this way. Now, look, it's TV and film. You can't it doesn't need to be exact. It shouldn't be exact. You got to tell the story. And then we just butted heads. And I'm like, do you want me to help you with the story? I couldn't figure out what it was. And then I was, on speed and PTSD, basically. And so, I was like, no, fuck this bitch.
Yeah.
So I can't believe how long they had me on that shit. And I just cut it out. I was like, what the fuck?
Shit.
But it was helpful to go through the classes, though, and get the basics of screenwriting structure, editing, knowing how to use Premiere and shit like that. The editing was key. I love editing.
That's me too. I could sit there for fucking hours. I mean, I just put out a 3-minute product review for actually these cards here, and like Gio has seen me edit sometimes. I've gotten better within the last couple 2 months. It's just something about editing, man. Like when you learn like a new thing, you're just like, oh, I'm gonna do this all the time now.
That's how I am kind of like design work, man. I don't edit. I design. That's it. Strict
editing. I'm with you. I got the editing bug. I didn't even know I had it, and then it took a dude who was known and credible, and he's like, "Fucking, you should go the editor route. Like you're really good at this." And I was like, "Oh hell yeah!"
Fucking money in it too.
I know, yeah. And then, but I wanted to go back to. I thought I wanted to go back to government, and so I was kind of half in, half out. Finally, I could just kind of spun out. I did get hired by, this is all whatever, but I did get hired, or the conditional offer. And they're like, and my buddy who works in the office, and he's like, dude, you beat out 2 contractors that were in there.
Shit.
He's like, they love your fucking, 25 years. You got all this combat time. You got languages. Well, yeah, except for a dude who did it for that long. I got baggage. And so I was a train wreck.
It's only baggage when it's controlled.
Exactly.
Oh my God. I mean, but the best thing that could have happened to me was not getting that, and then just leaving government and being like, okay. And then the podcast, and then this. I get way more enjoyment out of this kind of interaction. You know what I'm saying? Than I do. I don't care about. I loved that I did all of that shit. DC, I had this fucking hot ass girlfriend that spoke Mandarin and shit and worked at another federal agency. Oh, yeah. She was like half my. Oh my god, it was out of control. I was out of control. And yeah, so I'm glad I did all of that shit. It feels to me now, I don't want to say repulsive. It's just I don't want to ever go back to that. I drove into DC and I was like immediately like, fuck this, you know. like there's nothing I miss about this. I did it and now I just fucking hang like this, man. And it's great.
This is it, man.
Yeah, and so before we get out of here, before we do get out of here, I kind of want to end this show talking about like cannabis.
Yeah.
You know, that I think that's something, you know, it brings something I always said, it brings people together. You know, I used to say video games, but now it's cannabis because, you know, some places cops were playing video games, but cops weren't smoking weed until about at least the last couple years in some places. And what is your go-to? What do you like? What don't you like? Do you prefer flowers, dabs, vapes?
Flower. And I prefer a joint. Mm-hmm. And absolutely. I like the process of grinding it up. And then it makes me be a little bit detailed to stuff the cone. Not much, but you know, like a little bit detailed. And then you can have, it's super easy just to have a joint.
Agreed.
And I just love the smoke. I love the and then I need something because I did go off it took me off ADD med, so I'm a little bit spazzy. Mm-hmm. So it helps me to have something in my hand too. And I just like the smoke, and the feeling is a joint is shareable, like you're saying. It's like opening a bottle of wine. Hey, would you like a glass of wine? Here. Hey, would you like a hit of this joint?
I heard wine and weed go good together.
Hey, you want a hit of this bong? You know, and if somebody's you're not at a casual party and ripping fucking fingers.
I wish.
No, I do.
It's like that
casual party.
I know my backwards kind of blur, but I sent you a picture of it, that gravity bong. So he got me into that thing. And you know what they have for the base? A fucking chest rig that you can walk around with that giant fucking bong.
That would be something to video.
It is a very
like go to your buddy's dispensary.
Fucking like accessory. Let's say that.
Yeah. So I like what you said. How like you got to have something like in your hand. It's like that old like 1950s trope. Like smoking cigarettes is fucking cool. You know. So I'm gonna have it in my hand. So it's like now we're starting to get that with joints and weed now. But I want to show you something. I'm not sure if you've ever seen this before. This is how I pack my joints. It's this thing called a shotgun.
Okay. Yeah, and
like,
put the cones in or whatever.
The only thing is that you can't do this at night if you live in a house full of kids. It's fucking loud when you got to pack the damn thing.
Okay, so I'm glad you pulled that out because I like doing the process of one at a time, but I've also like, God damn it, I'm smoking a fucking joints, man. So how does it work? Do you just pour weed and like kind of hope and then you stop it, kind of tamp it down a little?
So with this one, the instructions say that you need to bang it on a table because the science of it is that if you, and this is my raw too, great product. And the science that the owner, Josh, has is that if you're packing up a joint and instead of like poking it in, and if you're packing it, like the bigger parts eventually go down to the bottom. And that's what this is. That's what this is supposed to help with in multiple forms. I'm not going to pack one joint with this and call it a day. No, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Does it work pretty well,
bro? Fill them up.
It works pretty good. It makes a fucking mess. I'll tell you that. It makes a mess all over the place. So like you got to have like a little table or something. I have like this little section here is my my section where I don't have my keyboard because I got one of them crazy fucking desks that covers a quarter of my bedroom, which my wife fucking hates. Yeah, it's nice. You know, I got the two joints up top, you know, but it's right. You know, but it's like, you know, weed is so good, man. And so it's a no-go with waxes, extracts.
Oh, I like infused joints. The dab hits like on a dab rig. It's fine, but it's not what I am looking for. Okay. They can be.
I feel that
they can be a little more than, and not just in intensity. I mean, there's a few times where I'm like, what fucking planet am I on? Especially nowadays when you can just have it on your fucking hand or in your pen or whatever. Yeah. But I generally, only in joints. I'm just not a big, I'll bong, like this is dirty as fuck, but this multi-chambered thing, and it's got all these little tubes in here. It's like it's fucking impossible to clean.
The fucking percolators. I hate that shit. Yeah, the best thing we do all the time, isopropyl alcohol, some fucking Himalayan salt.
Yeah.
And you're good to go, and just shake that shit, you know?
The problem is when it's inside of the, like I can clean it all except for that top, and then it's inside the little tubelets. No, like the bottom is gross.
Trust me, I know.
That is a fucking.
You can't clean that part down there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I can. All that can get clean. I have to clean this fucking thing, but this is literally the rig I use.
Holy shit, that is incredible.
And that's for fucking waxes, because Gio's a fucking madman.
I can't do what I like too is I it's kind of why I drink light beer. It's like, you know what, I want to pace it over a bit, and I feel like for me, like waxes get me. I love it. I mean, the bubble hash in a joint, crumble it up with the fucking flour is like, I'm like,
I like that too.
On that shit.
Oh no, man. as much as I like wax, I have to have my flour. Like I tried not to build like a full on dependency on wax just because it is more expensive and much harder to get. So I try to like keep a good balance of both. That way I'm not like fully like dependent on one or fully dependent on the other. So
that's weed is very, it's so weird because like I went into the army in 2012 and there was just flour, and then I get out and there's all this, there's waxes, extracts, crazy edibles. Have you ever heard of Cannabis?
So only from you. And,
yeah.
And so the owner of the seltzer shit, I shouldn't say seltzer shit.
yeah. Aren't you affiliated with them?
Yeah, promo code StonedVet on Mighty Kind THC seltzers, by the way. Go to the website, Be Mighty Kind. They can ship anywhere in the U.S. They have 800 stores. Sorry, I'm not trying to do a commercial for it. If you put in StonedVet, all one word, 20% off all your orders. They come in about a week, people are saying. They're fucking fantastic. But I had him on. I was asking him, I'm like, have you heard of this THC bump? Because he's like you guys. He's a bit more like plugged into some, the shit.
Yeah.
And he's like, no. And his thing was, he's like, how does it work if it's not burning? What's the catalyst?
That's actually a good question.
I mean, yeah. But, oh my God.
So I actually have the picture of the product here.
You got a picture there? Boy.
Yeah. And this is real shit. Like, this is real life. This was something that was coming out. And to this day, I still can't believe that. I mean, look at that.
I know.
The vial. Dude,
the vial, too.
No, but on top, but it came with a tube to snort out of, and it came with a mini spoon. It was pretty crazy. I think there's actually another picture here with the, there it is. So It's got the fucking.
Thanks for keeping marijuana illegal.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there it is.
That is it.
Yo, all right.
You want to scare people like my parents?
600 milligrams, dude.
Yeah, 600 milligrams of THC crystalline.
Fucked up. I would have to like snort the entire thing in one fucking shot in order to get fucking stoned off. That shit. That's ridiculous.
Cannabis has gotten interesting, and to go back to like the cannabis seltzers, I do need to get my hands on the Mighty Kind. I actually saw that. I'd love to be affiliated with them too, because like anything cannabis is something to be close with.
Yeah,
and they have so many interesting flavors that I can't find anywhere else. So that's why I need to make an order, because there's actually a few stores around here that sell it, surprisingly, because New Jersey has gotten pretty interesting with their alcoholic beverages lately, because now all the cannabis seltzers are either at Good Guys shops or at the liquor stores. And the only ones I'm able to find is this one called Mellow. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. They come in a smaller can, but it's a seltzer too, but they only have 3 flavors. And I'm picky when it comes to flavors. You know what I mean? Like super picky. Like I see back there the banana kush.
Yeah.
And I'm allergic to banana, and I think you actually told me that they use natural flavors for that. So that's that's a selling point for me. I think the one behind you is a citrus one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a citrus one, lemon, orange. There, yep, orange.
There it is.
I'm addicted to orange. So dude, I drink orange anything, dude. It's insane. So like seeing like new things like that to really, like I could fucking sit at the fucking boardwalk and drink a cannabis seltzer. Shit.
I know, dude. Well, and that's what Josh is the owner's name. And I'll do, man, listen, I'll do a fucking text handshake, put you guys in touch.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just see, I can't imagine. I mean, he's just trying to get it out, and we're a great fucking demo. And
yeah, I mean,
it works. The seltzers are no bullshit. So they're vegan, sugar-free, gluten-free.
Oh, no shit. That's awesome.
Yeah. And it's a little lighter. Like you're not getting a White Claw, and that's what's great about it. And so however, the orange one, I made a vodka drink with that, and I was like, whoa. Like it was a little, for me. And I feel like, I mean, I'm a daily smoker. You guys probably a little bit more than me, but I'm a daily smoker, and on edibles, man, I got to start at 100 usually. I'm like, okay, they're often like in 30s, right? So it's like, okay, 90, whatever, 90, 120. But that's usually where I got to fucking start. And with these are 10 milligrams, and they hit. But yeah, it's really cool. He's a St. Louis kid too. I say kid, I mean, he's 7 years younger than me. He's your guy.
I know how you feel. I mean, some of the guys that we hang out with, like I
still call Sanchez kid every once in a while.
I call Dabs kid, and we like Dabs is only 2 years younger than me, and I still call him a kid. But let's it is the time. We usually try to keep this short to leave people wanting more. But hey, I just want to say thank you for coming by too.
Man.
Clean and Friends is a show that we are trying to turn into like a Conan O'Brien style late night show eventually. That's the plan for this one, and we hope to do it one day too. That's what I was telling you I told you the plan. I have a plan. They call there's this video game called Red Dead Redemption, and there's a guy named Dutch. And Dutch is a guy who always has a plan but never falls through. I'm Dutch. So, but I just want to say thank you for coming. I really do appreciate you coming by. This was I like to have these conversations with people and kind of get people to see a different side that normally people don't really get to see when seeing other content creators do their thing. I kind of like want to break that mold a little bit. And this was a great conversation. I appreciate you coming. So where can we find you, man?
It's just at Stoned Vet on YouTube. I'm not really on social media other than that. There's a Stoned Vet Twitter page, but it's pretty dead. So it's just Stoned. I mean, I hardly answer emails. I was like, Twitter. So just on YouTube at Stoned Vet. Yeah, come check us out. We've been trying to kind of make a mellower show. I don't think it's really been happening.
I've been seeing you guys have been watching like old school movies that fit the lines of non-copyright, strikes. So I think
those are fun. Those are my favorites. Yeah, honestly,
it's like Mystery Science Theater with potheads.
Oh, that's great.
And that's basically what we're trying to do with it. It's not reinventing the wheel, but yeah. So if you go to my channel, if you go to @Stoned Vet, there's a few different things. There's House of Doofus, House of Stolen Valor, and then wine, weed, and watchables. I think I call it. I got to change.
Yeah, that's the newer one, right?
Yeah, and so that's going to add. Basically the Bronze Stars and NJPs is just going to kind of morph into. Sometimes but it's all stoner shit.
Yeah, and then I think you guys just watched. What was it?
We just Reefer Madness.
Reefer Madness. That's the one.
Oh my god,
that was fun, and I hadn't watched it. And sorry to go over here, but
you're good.
I hadn't watched it in I don't know how long, and so I was like, I don't want to pre-watch it, and so we went in like cold to it, which makes it, I don't know, it's just the stoner thing of it. The whole point is like, when I first started smoking weed after leaving government and all that shit, I was looking for shows on YouTube that I could sit and get high watching. And at the time, getting Doug with high was Doug, I forget his name, But that was the only show. They would smoke weed on camera.
Yeah,
and
you're right.
That was it. And I was like, man, that's us. And it was a good, fun conversation, a good, fun show. And so that's kind of what we're trying to do. Not mimic that, but just like just a hang out. Stoners hang out. That's what the weed ones are about.
It's interesting how that's the vibe for everything. But thank you for coming again. Guys, we will see you next week for another episode. We will see you later.